Hey everyone, it's Kai from WCC, and if you haven't been seeing a lot of content recently, that's because I was busy grinding the global ranked ladder, and now that that's done, it's time to make some content. And the first thing we'll talk about is grinding the ranked ladder on global. I'll talk about my journey, then talk about some tips and tricks you can use. And now that VP rewards have changed, things might be a bit more different, but there's a lot of theories and ideas, and then some interesting things as well while grinding, and how to speed up grinding. Okay, so first things first, here is my rank. I was 9th last season, previous season here, sharing it with 2 other guys. I could have gotten higher. Just on the last day, I decided to stop, let some people catch up, and probably share the rank here in case, you know, it's been a long grind and it just feels bad cucking people out of top places. And there was pretty much not really many ways we could lose it anyway, because Ben could make it, but on the last day he wasn't that close. So like the rewards didn't change, and there was no way I was gonna reach top 3 anyway. Now, the deck I used was MLB. I did a deck profile of my MLB list before, I think one of the budget lists, but my deck definitely was not a budget MLB deck. It was fully completed. You can see here, right here, top deck, because this is pretty much the deck I just played. And pretty standard, actually pretty standard. My win rate for this was probably around like 70%, so I had a pretty decent win rate when playing. Bad matchups, there's not really any bad matchups for MLB. People say, you know, Overlords can snipe your Wingle Brave and like get an advantage like that, but who cares, alright? Just draw your cards and win the game anyway. So I think like MLB is just pretty much the best deck in the format. All the other decks are just below it. And then luckily in this grinding season, there was a lot of Neo-Nectars as well. People just wanted to play that and test out how good Neos were, and they're pretty much free. They're pretty much free. Anything that is not the big 3, maybe, and Rises. Okay, Rises is like kind of like an iffy matchup for this as well, because you know, you're trading crits all the time, and it just comes down to how many knowledge you have. But other than that, every other deck is pretty much free, and you just easily destroy them with MLB. So yeah, MLB best deck. If you want to grind now, then MLB is still good. There is Limit Break out, but I think out of all the Limit Break decks, the only deck that can compete and do well is Narukami for the ranked ladder, of course. If it's for other stuff, then go do your testing. But Narukami is also fast, although it doesn't get the crit. Vermilion does a lot of work for it, and it is actually super cheap. I also did a video on that too before, so go check out that one. I'll link it in the description below. But yeah, budget Vermilion does very well. It means you don't need to buy Gan slots. And like, if you don't have Gan slots for MLB, it absolutely changed the deck so much, because MLB is pretty much the only deck that can, you know, have aggression, have a crit in Vanguard, retire opponent's units, and then also recycle their heals to make insane compression states and get you double heals on 6 and stuff like that. So that happened a few times while grinding. So another thing is, do you need to be good to grind high? I don't think you need to be good at all, although I had a high win rate, I think, before. It's going to be different now, unfortunately, because you cannot just beat VP farmers, but the entire global ranked ladder was defined by VP farmers. VP farmers will determine if you are able to rank faster than any other people. So let's think about it this way, right? When we think of like grinding fast, right? There's 2 things. We think of 2 things, yeah? There is a fast deck and winning, yeah? So both things are very important. Fast deck, we've got that covered. We've got MLB. Winning, we've also got that covered, because, you know, winning is winning, right? So when we think of winning, though, even though my win rate was maybe 70%, maybe 75% against non-VP farmer decks, I still have a chance to lose. And losing when grinding is very, very bad, because that means unless you're at like 0 legend points, you basically wasted that game, and then you have to lose 20 points, and then you have to grind another game to make it. So basically, every time you lose, you have to play 2 more games, and that will totally expand the amount of time you spend, you know, grinding that legend rank. So my average, I actually timed my like climb, like how fast it would take on average for me to do 1 legend rank, and that was around it was around 50 minutes, not 50, yeah, 50 minutes if I just played against normal people, no VP farmers, surprise, surprise, and yeah, it was around 50 minutes, okay, and that was with like, sometimes you might lose 1 game somewhere there, but you know, 50 minutes was playing normally. I also clocked really fast times, like 35 minutes, one of them was like, I lost like the first game, but then I just played like 3 VP farmers, then one really fast. I got 35 minutes one of them. So that got me thinking, how do I get fast? If I played, theoretically speaking, if I played 5 VP farmers in a row, I could get myself down to like 25 minutes per game. Because like a VP farmer game on average is like 5 minutes. And then an average game against normal people is around 10 minutes. Sure, you'll get the long grinding games against like Shadow Paladins and they've retired all your boosters and you're just like top decking cards like that. There's those games, they can go to like 15 minutes and that will really slow down grinding. But overall, it was around 50 minutes, like 10 minutes against normal people and 5 minutes against VP farmers. Now, we actually did calculations because I was thinking, this is the theory part, right? I was thinking, imagine I just didn't play against real people and just scooped against real people and played against VP farmers only. And that was like a crazy idea because that happens. People running their VP farmer scripts or those auto farming scripts, they randomly rank up and they put in like heals now and then the nulls and all that because they just want to beat other VP farmers to rank up. But ranking up does happen, and that's when you play more VP farmers than you would against real people. So you like maybe you play like 7 games, right? And then one of them was a real person, so you lost that. But you played a lot of VP farmers at that time, and then you would rank up. And that's how you rank up just by VP farming, right? So I was thinking maybe I could manually I could just take MLB, pretend to be VP farming, immediately give up against real people, and then just play against the normal people. So we actually did calculations for that. It turns out that wouldn't be faster. That wouldn't be faster. Especially with my win rate at the time, and although we didn't know the VP farmer encounter rates, just because that changes throughout the day, but if we just set it arbitrarily at 50% with my 70% win rate, playing normally would take on average like 51 minutes, and then conceding against normal people, and then only playing VP farmers, that would take about like 90 minutes. So definitely not good. But if you change the variables a bit, if we say like the VP encounter rate was like 70%, and then that definitely does happen at some points, just because time zones, right? People will go to sleep, they turn on their scripts, but bam, right? VP farmer's heaven, right? If VP farmer encounter rate becomes 70% with my win rate, then it becomes about equal. It becomes like average time against normal people would just be 40 minutes, and then average time against if conceding, giving up, and only playing VP farmers would also take around 40 minutes. So if you're asking why the times went down, that just means there's more VP farmers. So overall, both styles of play, you will do really fast. Like it's just fast, right? The only time it becomes different is that if the VP farmer encounter rate is high, and then the win rate, your natural win rate, like maybe you're not a great player, if that is at around 50%, but the VP encounter rate is like 70%, then it's actually faster to just pretend you're VP farming, because when you scoop and reconnect, that takes about 1 minute, right? So overall, you just want to connect. You see a guy, scoop immediately if it's a real person. If it's a VP farmer, then play it out, done. Because it takes 5 minutes to beat a normal person, and 10 minutes to beat a normal person, but 5 minutes to beat a VP farmer. So if you keep on reconnecting, and eventually you'll get to the VP farmer if the encounter rate is high, and then you will be able to hopefully beat him, right? So that's pretty much it. If you're to sum it up, if there's a lot of VP farmers and you're not very good, you could technically become a VP farming bot. But there is one thing that really went to my mind, right? Is that there is this period of time when you're grinding Legend Rank, right, where you don't lose any points at all for scooping, for giving up. And that is when you just leveled up on Legend, right? You get to the newest Legend Rank, and you have like basically 0 points, right? So at that time, if you give up or lose, you won't lose any points. But if you play normally and lose, you basically waste that time, right? You waste like the 10 minutes that you spent playing. So technically speaking, every time you rank up a Legend rank and you're at 0 points, you can scoop until you find a VP farmer and beat him and just quickly get 20 points. Because there were so many VP farmers then that you are definitely going to beat a VP farmer. With the 5 times you retry, you will definitely meet a VP farmer, okay? So it's actually faster for you to scoop immediately when you're at 0 points and just try and match up with a VP farmer and beat him for the quick 20. And if you think about it, right, I got to Legend 215. So that means if I save on average like 3 minutes, reconnecting, that pretty much saves you like 645 minutes. That is nearly 11 hours saved just by, giving up against normal people when you're at 0 points. And if you grind it even harder, if you go to like 345, like the top people, it's just, you're saving a lot of time. It's even like 900 minutes, right? That's, of course, sometimes if you immediately connect to a game and it's, a VP farm already, then you don't have to do anything. But then that's also not factoring the time you spend playing a real game at 0 points and then losing. And you just basically wasted 10 minutes and you got to do another like 10-minute game, right? So overall, that is actually crazy when I think about it. If you connect at 0 points and it's a real person, just give up and go for a VP farm. And that probably doesn't work anymore just because of how they changed the VP reward system. There will be less. I mean, it can happen. There will be some people who didn't get the memo or just some people who are trying to climb to 2 million. But your encounter rate won't be like 70%. It will be like probably like 30%. Or less, I think. I don't think you'll ever get to 70%. So that strat, I don't think is very viable anymore. And thank goodness, because that would that idea is just it feels pretty silly in a way. Because yeah, VP farming strategy. If your strategy is revolving around other people VP farming, I think there is a problem in the system, and thanks to them, they've finally finished it as well. Well, they've gotten rid of that system. That's pretty much the speed portion of the video. Get a fast deck, scoop at 0 points against real people, and then play against other people really fast. Like, my climb rate was actually really quick. I pretty much did 20 legend ranks a day, and that is something you need to do if you're climbing rank. Now, that doesn't change. You need to figure out how many legend ranks I want to do in a day, and then you stick to it. You don't want to fall behind, because every time you fall behind, you have to make up for it next day, and that is just going to get harder and harder. So stick to your guns. Some days will be worse, because you would just get stuck at a rank, because you just keep on losing 6 damage heals and stuff like that. In that case, just go take a shower, alright? Go eat some food. Go get some boba, alright? Just chill out, and then come back to it later. Refresh my. Sometimes with me, when I got stuck at certain ranks, I stopped playing on my computer and took out my phone instead to play on that, because it's just a different experience and cleans the brain. So you just have to have a lot of mental resistance when grinding that ladder. Overall, I didn't play like 20 hours a day. I played probably like maybe like 10 to 12 hours a day. So it wasn't crazy amounts, but it also would take a big toll on time. And as you might know, yeah, I didn't do much those X days I played. I did go out though. Actually, the funniest thing is that the day I spent least time grinding was when I went to my friend's place, and there I just chilled out and didn't make my quota. So I had to really make up for it the next day. But overall, you gotta set your quotas. You gotta stick to your quotas, and you just gotta compare yourself. Make sure you're within striking range. Right? If your idea is to be top 100 for this season, then you want to be sitting at around like 98s, 99s for the entire season, and then on the last few days you can do a push, or you can just start pushing higher and higher, and every day finishing on a higher rank, and then you'll be kind of safe. You'll be kind of safe. So just don't slack. Get your ideas in check and get a fast deck. MLB Narukami is great, and then yeah. So other theories is I know a lot of people have been talking about account sharing and all that. How there's high Legend 345. I'm not gonna get into that, but I want to say that in theory it is possible to get Legend 345. It's possible, like just solo play. It is probably even possible to get Legend 400. So, like I said before, if every day in the season you grinded 20 ranks, right, you would end up at around 350, Legend 350. So the people at the top never reached Legend 350. They hit 345. And then you can probably plus 50 more just by VP, like doing a VP farm script, right? So a lot of people do say that, I got to Legend 50 and got all my rewards by just auto VP farming. If you scripted an auto farming script that kind of reconnected on when you get disconnected, right? When your opponent, like, you get that screen where the opponent's waiting, you didn't connect properly, it takes you back to the deck screen. If you made a script that got past that, that means your entire game will be infinitely automated. When you go to sleep, there is no downtime. Your auto farming script will just continue farming, and you'll continue getting points and getting ranks. So that can make up for like 50. And I do know some people who did do that. They programmed well. I didn't, because I'm not good at programming. Really bad at coding, unfortunately. But I know people who did, and so that can basically account for 50 legend ranks. And even if you don't have that script, I know a lot of people just naturally get legend, like 50 legend ranks from that. So if we just go 50 legend ranks from just auto VP farming when you're asleep, and then every day you do 20 ranks, that is legend 400. That is entirely solo, and that is only possible. That is only possible because there are VP farmers in the game. The encounter rate for VP farmers is so high. That's why your script is winning. That's why you are getting so many ranks so quickly and winning so quickly. So if VP farmers weren't a thing, the inflation would be way lower. I think if you look at the Japanese thing as well, recently their legend rank ended up the first place, like 199 shared. And although JP has less VP farmers, it was on an increase. It was on a bit of an increase. I started seeing way more VP farmers than normal, and that can basically explain why every season these VP farming, the legend rank has been just being inflated so much. So it'll be interesting to see where the legend rank ends this season. I don't think it'll be 345. I think it'll be lower, but it might just be higher as normal, just because Limit Break came out. The reward is good. It's Ezel. Everyone wants Ezel, and then there's also top 12 spots because invited to the Bushiroad tournament. So I think there's a lot on the line this season. So we're going to see a lot of people try harding really hard to try and get those spots. So that's pretty much my rank grind journey. I don't know if I'm going to do it again because I actually need to make content and do other stuff. So it's pretty hard for me to just commit 2 weeks to do this. The only reason why I did this was I did want to test out how hard it was to do it. Some funny strategies regarding, VP farmers on the ladder. And since VP farmers are gone now, the ladder is pretty much just, or lessened. The ladder is just playing games and playing MLB. And I think I've had enough of playing MLB because I think I played like nearly 2,500 games of MLB. So yeah, I think that's about it for me for MLB. And maybe I'll try to get top 100. I don't think getting top 100 is that hard, but top 10 is definitely something you really need to commit your time for. And I have other things to do. So that's pretty much my ranked journey. It was a pretty funny experience. Pretty fun just beating people at MLB. Sorry guys, just MLB is so good. I love how the VP farms are gone and then everyone's on the MLB train, and the next thing that will be on the complaints list is I just keep on fighting MLB, and it just feels really bad. So that's it from me. Let's just quickly go through the points on how you should climb length. Don't slack. If you slack, people like me will catch up to you. And even if I didn't play 2 days, I still caught up. So don't slack. No matter where you are on the ladder, have your goals. Have your goals set. Just think, okay, I want to do 10 legend ranks a day, and then compare yourself on your pace compared to the rest of the ladder, right? So if we just quickly look at here, what's the current rank 1? He is 24. That will be pretty crazy. If you want to be in top 12, what is top 12 like? 16 right now. And then the bottom of top 100 is around legend 10. So it's been nearly about 2 days. If you did 10 ranks each day, you would be somewhere like here. You'd be in the top 12, I think, yeah? So you'd be okay, right? You just have to have that mindset and don't slack. Again, don't slack. Play a fast deck. Right now, I'm suggesting MLB and Narukami, but I think anything in the top tier 2, like tier 2 decks, Ezel works okay. Kaguru and Phantom Blaster. I think I would pick Shadows over Kaguru, and probably Ezel over Kaguru too, because Kaguru can be a bit slower. Pick a fast deck. Time yourself. How is your pace? You got to time your pace, and then work from there too. And then you know how much hours you have to devote a day, and then how many ranks you have to climb a day, and whether you can make it or not. Okay. Apart from that, good luck if you're climbing ranks. Maybe you can make it to get invites for the tournament, and see you guys in another video. All right, bye.